creepy, stingy foreigners. The rampant social media usage in Thailand. Thai people are just people. They all have different opinions. You can't really bundle them into the same group. Everyone's just a different person. And I think that can frustrate a lot of people who've lived here for a long time.
Welcome to another episode of Tag Along with Chai. In this video, we're gonna discuss the 3 most annoying things in Thailand for foreigners.
I first lived here back in 2014. I lived in Chiang Mai in a village about 2 hours outside of Chiang Mai in Mae Wang district. And I was there as an English teacher for 9 months, living with the indigenous Karen people, ethnic minority group. And whilst there, I just grew an absolute obsession with learning Thai and trying to acculturate into the local place and making friends there.
You speak a lot of Thai?
I can manage, I'm not bad, I probably get 50 to 60%, but I manage and I can get around and have good conversation.
I always like to highlight the positive things, but to give a complete idea, I also like to mention the things that are maybe not so pleasant.
Sure.
Some annoying things maybe.
Not every country is perfect. Every country has its positives and negatives, and Thailand's not immune to that as well. I think a very obvious one is kind of just, you can group it together as just the heat, the pollution, humidity, which is a really boring answer to start with, and I know you didn't really want that answer, but I think it does kind of get to you after a while sometimes.
Okay.
But I would never trade that in the world for a European winter, for example. I'd prefer this every day of the week. Another thing here is the rampant social media usage in Thailand. I think people are addicted to the just
Instagram and TikTok.
TikTok and the whole idol kind of scene, which is I guess coming from a Western lens, I try to be sympathetic a little bit, but I just kind of find it's a bit of too much of an addiction in this country. People are hooked on their phones.
So if you've never been here before, if you've never been here before, then you will find a lot of people going to cafes, for example, and then they'll just order a coffee and then taking pictures for half an hour and then leave again. I think that's what you mean.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like being too judgmental of people or whatever, but I just think there is a bit of an obsession with social media in this country, and everyone wants to be a TikToker and a YouTuber and all that kind of stuff, and sometimes that can have a little bit of an impact on the fabric of society. When I first lived here 10 years ago, 5G wasn't as rife, and it wasn't everywhere to the extent it is now, and you kind of go up into villages and whatnot, and people are addicted to their phones as opposed to kind of more communicating with other people in the community. But that's just a universal problem. It's not really unique to Thailand, but I just think it has it's more noticeable here than other places I've been. For sure.
Have you been traveling in Southeast Asia a lot?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I know the Philippines is quite obsessed with it as well, and other countries, but I've been to Vietnam, I've been to a bit of Laos, I've been to Singapore, I've been to the Philippines, but nowhere near as extensively as Thailand, obviously.
No, you really love Thailand. If you have to pick another country to live in or to go to, which country would you love to go to again?
I'd probably actually like to explore a bit more of Laos. Lao people understand the Thai language, so getting around Laos would be quite easy for me, and I also feel like Laos is almost, it sometimes feels like Thailand, but a little bit more untouched. It hasn't been had the same amount of tourism there, and people aren't as used to foreign visitors and whatnot. So I think they've kind of maintained their maybe humility and lack of just business mindset, which you can kind of get when you go to more touristy locations here. And so there's something a bit more pure about that when I've been to parts of Laos.
2 months ago I've been to Laos. Amazing country, the people are lovely, and what you say is true. It's quite untouched, especially if you go a little bit remote, away from the cities.
I think it's one of the most unvisited, potentially the most, maybe outside of Myanmar, most unvisited country in Southeast Asia, potentially.
Which is a shame. I've been doing an episode about this one and why people skip it, and mainly the main answers are coming back that there is no beach and it's landlocked, and
maybe because everything shuts at 9 p.m. as well.
Back to Thailand, so the good things, because we're not going to make it a negative episode. The good things we'd like to highlight. What's the best or one of the best things? And then the obvious answer is the people and the culture.
Sure.
What else is so good about Thailand?
I think for me personally, the people is the correct answer, but another layer below that is just the sense of humor, the lack of judgment I think it's a Buddhist society, so there's less judgment on people, and people are happy to and free to do kind of what they want to do. And especially when you're a foreigner, that's even more so the case in some senses. So people are less judgmental of you, I think, potentially than back in your home country for doing different things. the sense of humor of Thai people is amazing. Thai people are so funny. They're like less PC than back in Western countries, so you can get away with more crude jokes and jokes that probably wouldn't fly back in Australia. So I think that is something that always keeps me coming back. I have so many laughs with my Thai friends about all this random shit. So it's so funny.
I've noticed there's a little bit of a change with the newer generations. Before, my understanding was that sarcasm was hard to understand by Thai. Is that what do you think? Like, did that change a little bit? Do Thai people understand, in general, obviously everyone's different, but do Thai people generally understand sarcasm?
Yeah, I mean, I've actually never noticed that, to be honest. I've always found them to be their humor to be extremely sarcastic and always taking the piss. So that's been the complete opposite of my whole experience. I think Thai people are like very quick to make a joke and have fun and kind of make different remarks and whatnot. So from what I've seen, I mean, like I think there's such funny people.
You traveled quite a bit around Thailand. This is central, let's say, Bangkok. What's your favorite part of Thailand? Is that the north, central, or south?
Probably the north. It's kind of where I started and where I lived originally, and there's sentimental value attached to that as well. And some of the mountains up there are just so beautiful. And I love that ethnic diversity up there. There's so many different people from different minority groups, whether that's like Karen, Aka, Hmong, all these different types. So that makes it a really, really interesting. I mean, and a lot of those people are not like Thai. So you got all these different languages, and you can go up and explore different types of villages and all that kind of stuff. So the north, I think that's also a bit of a biased answer because that's where my original home was as well. So
you've been here for a long time. I can imagine when you go back to Australia, for example, and coming back to Thailand, there's one dish you've missed. Which dish do you miss always when you're not in Thailand?
I think anything that has crispy pork. I just love mul grab. It's my favorite thing. So any dish that has crispy pork is usually my favorite.
Yeah, but you have that in Australia?
I mean, but it's just not as available. I mean, mul grab is everywhere in Thailand. You can literally walk 100, 200 meters and there'll be a shop selling something that has crispy pork in it. So that's probably the simple answer. There are obviously, I love Thai food. You'd have to be something wrong with your head not to like Thai food, but
Is there something that people should be aware of?
Well, firstly, it's extremely safe. There's no issues at all regarding safety, in my opinion. I've also asked many female friends of mine who've previously traveled in Thailand and my local female friends here, and they've very rarely had issues here. I've never felt really any issues with my safety unless I was up to no good in places I shouldn't be inhabiting. But in your general day-to-day and just wherever walking, safety is never an issue. I just think generally keeping an open mind. I think always we as Westerners, but even just people from different countries, will always kind of judge first as opposed to observing first. People always do things for a reason. There's a reason why things are a certain way. Even going back to that social media kind of chat before, like there are always reasons why things are a certain way, even though it might look weird to us. And so I think just having an open mind to everything, to the chaos, to the styles of conversation, to the food, everything like that. I think sometimes as Westerners and foreigners, people can come up here and they get annoyed and they judge and they say Thai people are like this and Thai culture's like this and Thailand's like that. And the reality is Thai people are just people. They all have different opinions. You can't really bundle them into the same group. Everyone's just a different person. And I think that can frustrate a lot of people who've lived here for a long time. I think the other obvious piece of advice that I can give anyone is if they're going to move here and live here long term, learn the language. It's just I mean, for me, it's just it's changed my life, and it will change your experience totally of here. And I've always found that people who know the language and live here tend to get a little bit less frustrated because they kind of understand why things are the way they are, especially if they can speak at a certain level. I mean, if you're coming in, tourists obviously it's different, but if you're coming in thinking about living here long term, I couldn't recommend learning the language anymore.
The third annoying thing in Thailand as a foreigner?
Creepy, stingy foreigners, which is bizarre. I mean, I've just met so many over the years who kind of brag about how they, I don't know, hook up with this Thai girl or that Thai girl, and it becomes pretty boring. And then the other type of foreigner, he's kind of like, I don't know, you meet these people and you end up going to dinner with them and you have a few beers and dinner, and they're always like first to look at the door when the bill comes around. There's a few stingy people around that, from what I've seen. Yeah, I think Thailand's cost of living attracts some kind of more stingy types, and I think stinginess is a pretty shit quality in people. So I've seen a fair few of them over the years. But if to say that they sour my experience in Thailand would be a lie. On the whole, I've always had a super positive experience here, and I've met a lot of good people here, both Thais and non-Thais.
Yeah, nice one, man. Thank you so much. Do you have a message to the world or some wisdom to pass on?
I would say follow Chai Travel.
No, really? Is that it?
I don't know. Be kind, laugh lots, and talk to other people.
Talk to other people. This channel is based in Thailand. We're showing you the beauty of Southeast Asia, and now we are in Thailand for a little while before I'm taking this channel to Indonesia. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you all for watching till the very end. I'd like to say from the capital city of Thailand in Bangkok, bye for now and stay champ.